What's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Sorry for the wait, but we had a couple of technical difficulties. It's the 12th of December. It's 12/12/18. And once again, I brought back Jamie from A Plain Truth because no one else is telling us the truth whatsoever at all. He has gone out of his way to get out to paradise, to talk to the people, to see what's up, to donate money, to hand it off, to actually help people. He's putting himself, his family, his channel at risk. And just like Jamie, I've already got a copyright strike for absolutely nothing. They pull up the old ones. So let me jump in the chat real quick. There's a lot of people waiting. What's up, James Mundo? What is up, Janice? Candace Ray, my bad. Jazz does not consent. Mr. Slowski, Upright 88, OG vapes, and so do I. All right, enough of the pleasantries. If I missed you, it wasn't to dish you. There's a lot of information. Jamie's been putting out some good stuff, so we're going to pull it right up, get it right out there, and get right into it because it is late on the East Coast. Jamie, what are we looking at, brother? Break it down.
I always wanted to say this. Hey, this is Jamie from California. Hey, you know, it's my Richie imitation. So, guys, we've been three times up to paradise, and thank you all for following us. This is the greatest disaster, attack, whatever you want to call it, United States history. We had, what, 3,200, they said, is the number from 9/11. We're talking tens of thousands of people. And so this is a couple. The gal on the right is just a sweetheart. She's one of our great contacts. And I know you people are looking, some people are saying, oh, he had a devil sign or something on there. Forget about it, folks. This guy just lost everything. They donated clothes to him to wear. He had nothing to wear. And because here's money that you guys have given. I did this in Hurricane Harvey. I went there and delivered the money you gave. We raised $8,000. I want to raise $20,000, and I'll show you each and every penny where it gets handed off. It's amazing, Richie, the tribe that's being set up now. I always dreamed this could happen, but it kind of always takes suffering. Right. It's suffering in a crisis, you know.
I tried to make it down to Harvey, and I had vehicle issues, and I was so impressed with how you were taking money in and bringing it down and helping people out. And so many people, just like this time, said, you're the only person that's actually helped us. Where's the Red Cross? Where's FEMA? Where's DHS? These guys are constantly drilling for events that never occur, or they're constantly drilling and the next day the exact event happens anyways. But they always seem to be leaving Americans stranded. These people are in it for themselves, man. We need more people like you. But I digress. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I digress too, because we go all the way back to the 1900s when the Rockefellers, the Guggenheims, all the money guys, J.P. Morgan, they had 30% more wealth than Ellison, Buffett, and Gates of today. And they created the nonprofits to shield their income. And they created all these NGOs that are supposedly helping us. The International Red Cross is Rothschild Red Shield. These guys are it's a corporation, but they make money. They're a corporation. They took in Hurricane Harvey. This really needs to hit home. $450 million of our money we gave to Red Cross. The CEO of Red Cross takes in $650,000 a year in salary, and not one person out of the 50 I went to 3 weeks after Hurricane Harvey has seen a penny. Same thing here in Santa Rosa.
Hey, real quick. Do you see this? This is on my channel. This is a video that I obviously thumbs up because I'm subscribed to it and I'm showing it in a live stream. And yet I'm seeing right now it has a thumbs down. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Oh, they switched your likes, huh? There you go.
Well, it's just like,
hey, look at that. Look at that, Richie. Like, Richie, look at 996. Richie, they were doing that all over with me. 996.
Oh, I've seen it. Without a doubt. I've seen this throughout.
It's everywhere.
It's funny. This is like when you have 40 views and 102 thumbs up. You know what I mean? But that's a good one right there, because I'm sitting there going, look at the 26 assholes that thumbs down. It took a second. Oh, wait a minute. At any rate, my bad. Go ahead.
No, we're just, this is the game, and the 666 is coming up on my Facebook. It's coming up all over the place. Last night when I posted the interview with the this one last night, it got stuck on 999 views for about an hour. Our subs, as you know, and I know, I should have tons more subs. They knock them off all the time. They tell us they have to resub all the time. I mean, this is the game they're playing with us, but we still have a platform to speak. And as long as I've got a breath and as long as I've got a platform, man, you're not going to shut me up now, because we need to rally. And I'm not talking about you, Richie. I'm not talking about me. It's tag your it time, folks. No more watching what we're doing. No more saying, hey, isn't that great? Someone else is doing something. We need all hands on deck, and you can start by collecting clothes and delivering it to the homeless in your area. Look at this. Stop right here if you can.
Yep.
Are they looking at the screen right here?
Yep.
Okay, if you can, you maybe not, but look at the storm tracker. This was sent to me by another truther. These guys are just firing information to me. But this is the rainfall that came in to wash the evidence away just 3 days after the ad. Look at that. Paradise. What's the number you see there, folks?
It's been throughout this entire event. They've had 666 someplace in the mix. This is ridiculous.
Look above it, Richie. Look above it. 9/11, 9/11.
Unbelievable. Yeah, they're not shy,
I mean, it's
man.
so
They're not
in
shy.
our face. 9/11, 9/11. I mean,
And people talk to us. You know, you guys are that's ridiculous. You just made it's constant. It's every single time. They don't mind signing it. They're telling each other what sect of the evil empire is doing what. You know what I'm saying? It's their signature. They do it.
Oh, it's a full frontal assault. They're not. It's full disclosure. They're not hiding anymore. I mean, we see it, but
they don't have to.
Just look at. Well, for all the people who think we have tinfoil hats, just look at this weather forecast. This is a mainstream media TV show, right? And they're putting out the truth. Look at the rainfall amounts, folks. 20 miles away, you've got 1.57 inches. Yet in Paradise, you get 6.66. Are you kidding me? I mean, cultivate your common sense, as John Knox says, folks. I'm sorry, but it's a time to get angry. You're being lied to, and our children have very little chance of the future unless we come together. It's that important. I'm sorry, but we have to all come together now. So, but I digress.
There you go. Yeah, it's unbelievable. This has been 600 people missing, 66 dead, 6.66 inches of rain. All the views have been stuck. And I mean, if there's one right here, there's 996. They just love this stuff. And the beauty part is, the more obvious they are, the less people believe it. I mean, look, right here.
Right. There it is. And Fox and Gematria is 666. I mean, this is the mark of the beast. This is what is this? Neutrons, protons, and ions. 666 is our. Here you got 63 dead, 631. There's your 666 right again, folks. I mean, it can't be any more in your face what they are doing now to us, and we can either step up and awaken, or we can roll over and let them keep doing what they're doing, which is basically no other way to say it but mass genocide. I mean, they're hitting all the coasts. California obviously is under attack. We've had, as we talked about in the last show, we've had Mendocino, Lake County, Redding, Santa Rosa, Napa, Santa Barbara got hit twice, San Diego, Malibu, Thousand Oaks, and now Paradise. And they're saying the Sierras are going to be.
That I'm sure you've got subscribers down in Australia that are sending you stuff saying the exact same thing in the exact same area on their coastline is happening. It's a mirror image, basically.
Now get this, MAGA, Make America Great Again. And I'm apolitical, man. As far as I'm concerned, they're sock puppets. Look at this Make America Great Again sticker there, guys. You want to tell us we just keep getting snowed over and over and over, and we never learn our lessons. We've never gotten out of this morass of just being mind controlled. But now we're starting. Now it's changing. This is the great, great awakening of all of us. And I'm getting so much love. I'm getting so many letters. I'm sure you are too, about thank you for doing this. And so much people wanting to contribute and wanting to help. The hearts are opening up now. And it's up for everybody to speak their truth. You can't unhear somebody. Well, even if they don't react the way you want, don't pay attention to the they. Put your message out. Share these videos with others. Talk about it. Don't let it go away. I mean, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are unaccounted for here. They're not doing DNA tests anymore. They're not looking for people. There's no Red Cross to help these people. And get this, Richie, one of the comments I got, and these people just send me these links, first person accounts, their insurance companies are going in there and say, you had a Harley Davidson, what was it worth? 20 grand, here's 25. Here, you got a car, what was the car? Okay, and they're giving them like 5,000 over Blue Book, 3,000 over Blue Book for people just saying so.
Explain that though. I mean, what kind of confirmation are they going through to make sure these people are actually victims, or they actually had these things? Anything, or they just handed it off?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to register with FEMA when you lose everything. So they register with FEMA, so they get your database on there. And then if you want to find family, you got to do a 23andMe test. So they have you that way. So then they come back and they say, we've identified your home. This is the last interviewer I just had this posted. Check out this guy here. Look at this guy. He worked at Boeing. He's the director of communications for CAL FIRE. I mean, let's get into this first, then we can get about that other. But this guy worked for Boeing. He worked with FEMA. He works for, he's in the American University militarily currently, and he's communications director and also does the communications in, how does it say, non-traditional media exposure for Netflix Fire Chasers and extreme weather for National Geographic. There's your propaganda machine, folks, right there.
Oh my. Where did you find this guy?
Somebody sent it to me. My peeps are just rallying, man. They're sending me all sorts of wonderful stuff.
We don't need any more David Wilcox. I hate to break it to you, but David Wilcox is a pro. He's been doing this forever. He's like a chameleon. He changes to fit into whatever's going on. I don't put any stock in anything that he says. I'm sorry to tell you. And I saw that you basically concurred with that earlier.
Well, I want to add to it too, because you and I have been in the war, and this is, you and I have called out shills, and I flat earth, I've called out the shills. I feel like I have to be the cop. So I want to be the cop on David Wilcox. So I've followed for 7-8 years, maybe. I started in 2007. This guy was Mr. White Hat. This guy was Benjamin Fulford reporting the ships are out to sea and they're going to all meet and they're going to take over and we're going to right this ship. And then he says he's being attacked. He's going to be murdered. He's on a Camelot show and he's on live saying they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. I mean, just hyperbole and fear, and then nothing ever happens. All his prophecies, nothing ever happens. You speak sun simulators, we find sun simulators, Richie. I go to paradise, I find this, I report it. That's real people, folks. Disseminate and discern and use your judgment.
He puts a video up on a channel. The channel has 200,000 subscribers, almost identical to your main channel. It's the exact same topic. Your video where you're actually there talking to people face to face. People can see the victims. They can see the people that were there on the ground. Your video gets 30,000. His gets 220,000. It doesn't work like that on YouTube. You're not allowed to go even semi-viral anymore, especially if you're covering something legit. What you do get is a copyright strike. And you've already got how many?
Oh, I've been shut down twice, and then gone to copyright school. You and I were no copyright school, so they make you when you get a copyright strike, folks. If you don't know, they shame you into going to copyright school to get your YouTube channel back, and the questions are so stupid. But the thing is, you never know what can use or not, and this is why the truther community has to come and unite and say, share everything. Internet is a public domain. It's not like a book that costs money to produce. It's free. So don't put copyright strikes, folks. I've had fellow truthers trying to shut me down.
I don't believe it's other channels doing it because people use my own words, my own videos to expose me, and I don't copyright.
Look at this one here. Go back to that right there. See the plastic here? This was last year in Santa Rosa at the fire department that was burned to the ground, except the plastic garbage can and the hose were fine. Are you freaking kidding me?
Microwave safe.
Yep, microwave safe, folks. If you don't understand directed energy weapons, it's lasers. You can buy a laser at 7-Eleven for a few bucks and shine it up at the pilot and get in his eyes and disturb him. This is not rocket science. It's been, well, it is, but it's been around for a long, long time. They just have it perfected in many different ways. What we're learning from the attacks, Richie.
Boston YouTube channel, do not recommend shining a laser in a pilot's eyes. Thank you.
This is a disclosure. No, but the point being is you get it for nothing. They use it for LASIK surgeries. They use it for all sorts. So to be naive to think that this was a forest fire, and I got a picture coming up with that, with the homes, the mobile homes surrounded by a forest. The mobile homes were all burnt, and the forest is still completely intact.
Hey, let me show you this. This applies to the last live stream we did. I've been dying to show this to you. You see this?
Oh shoot.
That's the thing that they got the picture of in the clouds with the lights on the side of it. This is a perfect platform. This is the thing that's pixelated on the bottom. So when you're looking straight up at it, it's like you're looking at a movie screen. You can't see these things and they don't make any noise. These can hover for weeks over a location. It's a perfect directed energy weapons platform. I was talking about this last time. I just wanted to show it to you before I forgot. But why don't you show the pictures in your
that's a great picture.
This right here, yeah.
Yeah, that's industrial surrealism. Industrial surreal, surrealism. He's the one that first got me into the camouflage drones, and I call them platforms in the sky. And he shows that exact model with the cloud formation covering it. And they have the camouflage technology, folks, that they can just hide this stuff. If you think of a green screen, how they use Hollywood in a green screen, they just got a blue screen up there. It's a freaking lens. And all they do is can project it, and they can hide. They can do whatever they want now. And we're seeing the chemtrails. Like, there's no plane. I mean, I saw a plane today, but there's very few planes that are spraying now. They're putting the chemical crap up there. This is all using lasers and these little orbs. And again, we've got drones parked over us here in Santa Rosa every night, about 800 feet high, flashing little triangles. I've been chronicling it for a year and a half. I saw it up at Lake Tahoe. It's down in Marin. I mean, you look outside your homes, folks, and look up, and you think it's a star. No, it's only about 800,000 feet high, and they're putting drones over the entire country. Just look up. It's all different now. Everything's changed. I've been watching geoengineering since 2005. I wrote a book on it. Since April 1, Richie, everything out here has changed as far as our skies. There's nothing normal about it.
The other thing is, when I first got into this and the Project Bluebeam was a hot topic, and I'm talking back in like 2009, I looked into what would be the best platform for them to use lasers or holograms in the atmosphere. And it turns out that barium, strontium, and aluminum are perfect. It's like having an enormous, the sky is a movie screen. So you're absolutely right on it, man.
Yeah, and just the technology does many different things. They all do multi-purpose. Like these fires had multi-purpose things, and the geoengineering up in the skies. And then we have the supplies. Oh, here we go. What do you think of this, Richie?
Well, that's not a laser gun. That's a sniper rifle, and I can't.
That's a 50 caliber in my book.
It is. It's a 50 caliber bolt action. It's got a really nice scope on it. It's a serious setup, and I have no clue why they'd be sitting on top of a fire truck or whom they're targeting. I mean, you guys having problems with looters out there? I don't think there's anybody out there. Everything's melted.
They destroyed the town. What's there to loot?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm not there though, so I'm asking. I mean, is this for?
No, this was sent to me by somebody, and then I got another comment section. I don't know if you can open it. Maybe you just keep going. I think I open it up a little bit and scroll down and give the words from some first-person testimony. And I'm in touch with him now. He's too scared really right now to talk and really divulge what I just learned in a private conversation. But he's confirming that he went up there and he was hired to be part of some hit squads. He was hired a week before. And the premise that everybody needs to understand is FEMA and PG&E, the local power, were set up a week to 2 weeks before the event occurred. They were here ahead of time. So this guy is saying that they were shooting people. And also Anthony Haywood on Facebook is showing cars with bullet holes in the back of them. Bullet holes in the back.
I saw that.
Now, what do you want to do if you want to get rid of everybody's guns? How do you get rid of everybody's guns in the town?
Think about what you just said. If they couldn't stop the vehicle, it would have bullet holes in the rear. Do you know what I'm saying? It makes sense. Like this one slipped by. Somebody saw somebody getting shot and then just tried to blow by, and they stopped them. Because this isn't the first time we've heard about stuff like this. This crazy tinfoil hat, 50 caliber on top of a fire truck, even though you can see it with your own eyes. We heard about this we heard about this everywhere, but nobody goes into it in depth. You know what I'm saying?
Well, except Show Me Baby down in Hurricane Harvey. He says he's with the Cajun Patrol. Says we had bullet holes in the bodies. They left us there for dead. The State Department. We have firsthand testimony, folks. They really not only don't care about you, but they didn't want anybody getting out of paradise. Now, why would you have a 50 caliber? Let's say you're going to shoot a looter. Now, would you have a 50 caliber or would you have a 30-06 at the most? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to have a thing that can shoot 2 miles away.
2 miles.
Would you know it's a looter?
Including 2 miles.
Right. Does that make any sense unless you're really wanting to execute people?
These are crazy times, man. I don't want to let this thing die either, because people are already moving on to the next event, or they're going to pull another event soon to cover this up, because that's what they do every time.
All right, let's bring up something really important too now. 60 Minutes just had a hit piece on Sunday night. Did you see that? Called Paradise Lost. They took my theme, which I've done 32 different accountings, There's another first-person testimony that's really huge here. People sending in their stories. They want somebody to listen. They don't have anybody to talk to. There's no press there. They have nobody to tell their stories to, folks. We're the only ones, Richie, myself, some of these other truthers that are using their platform so bravely and courageously to keep this alive. This is the critical story of all stories to understand, because it's so easy to prove that this is not anywhere near the narrative. So 60 Minutes comes on. They have 20-minute segment, Paradise Lost. And CAL FIRE Chief Ken Pimlott gets on there, and he says that these fires were moving faster. It's the new abnormal. Jerry Brown says it's going to continue for 10, 15, 20 years. He knows. And these fires were moving when it started at, get this, 80 football fields a minute.
A minute. What is that? 316 feet or something to that effect? That's
327 miles per hour.
What? That doesn't
the
even
guy
make
on
sense.
TV, the CAL FIRE chief, admitted that, and that was first released. And when it first came out, all of us said, no freaking way. He reiterated it now. We're December 10th, so we're a month after the event. He is confirming that that's the official narrative from east to west. I mean, we've got the Sierra foothills, which is Lake Tahoe, 12,000 foot peaks. There's no wind that comes from the east and goes west. Are you kidding me? That's the story. That's the same story. So they have to create this thing called the Fire NATO. Make it all up, folks, and say, oh, it's going to get hundreds of miles per hour in this tornado and Fire NATO, and it's going to cause 2,600, 2,700 degrees temperature, because they have to explain how cars were flipped on their roof. They have to explain how iron bathtubs were melted down to the core, but as you saw, the plastic was left standing. They have to lie. And everybody goes, okay, on to the next thing. Hey, who's playing this weekend on football? You know?
That's right. That's right. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, so 52,000 is the number that not only did they repeat on 60 Minutes, and this is where we can get them by the cojones. 52,000 is also with the Guardian newspaper in England, a very profound, mainstream corporate media, I call them, came out with this number 52,000. And the only way I could come up with 52,000, because the official story on Wikipedia is 26,200, is to add in the unincorporated areas to get up to some number and then add 10% growth, because their number's been static about growth in Paradise area for 10 years, added 10%, I get the number 52,000. Well, they're saying that there's nobody left, that everybody's been accounted for, and 52,000 got out. We can't find hardly anybody. We're trying to give away food. We're trying to give away clothes. All the shelters are shut down. I went to the Red Cross place. It's now closed again. I'm going back up Friday. The Walmart.
So let me ask you, Jamie, let me ask you, were all these homes, or were a majority of these homes like vacation homes, or were these just regular residences?
Good question. Yeah, let's dispel some things going out. One, they say it's a retirement community. No, I got census.gov. You can do it yourself. Butte County, census.gov, Paradise. Great. Right. And it's not a bunch of old people. It was very well spread out. And then we got the whole racist thing, they hung a black guy. There's another story going on as Moloch comes up. They hung a black guy. That story is debunked. I thought the people on the interview I just did, she goes, no, it was everybody was up there. It was growing town. They were putting in a Starbucks. She was all excited. They're putting in a Starbucks. And she says, no, we had everybody. Everybody was familiar and friendly. It was a very pleasant place to be. We had blacks, we had Asians, and that's what the statistics show as well. They're trying to make it into some kind of like 51st state where they're making it into something it's not. No, this. And here's the other thing. The news just came out today, Richie. The CAL FIRE chief, Ken Pimlott, just stated that maybe we shouldn't rebuild in fire hazard areas any more homes, because it's just going to happen again.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing they did. That's the same thing they did after Hurricane Sandy. When Sandy hit the coastline, all the houses that got flooded out and taken out, they wouldn't give them permits to rebuild their own houses on their own property. That's part of the Agenda 21 thing. If they get rid of the area, if they can knock your house out with a natural looking event, they're not going to let you rebuild. So that's not surprising to me.
Yeah, and if you declare that it's a terrorist attack, it's considered an act of God, and insurance doesn't cover you. So people don't want to hear, especially out here, that it was a targeted event, that was lasers. They don't qualify for insurance. And then Hurricane Harvey, what they did when I was there, the people were given $1,800 by FEMA to get themselves back on their feet, but they had to sign over their mortgage as collateral. And now the people are having their homes foreclosed because they're not making enough money to live in their homes. See how it works, folks?
That's the same thing they did with the rain bomb in West Virginia. The houses, the insurance company went around, and Be Rich, I can't think of the other channel that was up there with us, I apologize, was there. They were giving every one of the people, here's $33,000 for your house. Here you go. Move along. That was it. They were basically buying the houses after they flooded out the entire town on top of a mountain. And the other thing that you put in your video today that went right back to that, this must be a FEMA thing, is they were marking the houses with a straight line or an X to tell if there was bodies trapped or if there was still a dead person in there. And I saw you put that in your video today.
Right. And that's how we learned. I mean, and the lockdown Paradise has been locked down since the event of November 8th. And we tried to get in there last week, and we can only get in the top portion. They said yesterday it was going to open up. If people got in, they were escorted in. But we saw 20 military MRAPs from Afghanistan type looking trucks in the armory. We went back there again, and they were gone, and they'd all gone up to, or look at this picture here. This is Shelley took this. Look at the scarring. Okay, this came up from the bottom. This was a ground fire, folks, too. They burned everything 20 feet up and nothing more. The limbs up top of 20 feet were not touched, but the ground was scorched. And then you see the black came inside the tree and went out. The laser torching went inside and then out. But notice on the scarring on that left there where the pine bark is, that is laser. You see the laser cuts there? They made it so it burned just the bark and didn't touch the ponderosa pine, which is quality, high quality lumber building wood. So all the trees they're cutting down we saw up there were healthy trees that hadn't been touched, and then they were starting to cut down the ones that only were scorched. So they did such a surgical operation here, folks, where it's the hospital was not touched, but the place next door and 10 doors down was completely destroyed. The fire went here, didn't went here. It touched the trees, but didn't harm them. I mean, this is resource. I mean, the guy with me was a lumberman, and he just kept going, "Holy shit, there's a lot of money here."
Well, you mentioned the guy that you said was Red something. I can't remember his last name.
Right, Red Emerson, and this is the local boots on the ground guy. I call him Super Doug because he's the one that first got me up to Chico, and he's putting me in touch with all these people. Thank you, Doug. But he was telling me he was buddies with Red Emerson. He'd go to the shooting range and he'd shoot with them and stuff out there in Chico, and he was a big old fat guy. He says he's richer than Ted. He has more land than Ted Turner. He's richer than Bill Gates. I go, what are you talking about? He says, 25, 30 years ago, he bought all the Southern Pacific Railroad timber, and he bought all the rights to it, and he got all the lumber, and then he started paying off all the local fire departments to go in there and save the wood first by giving them a bunch of money. And this guy has more money than Bill Gates. And I started researching, and damn if he wasn't right. And damn if this guy didn't do a sweetheart deal of some $540 million like 30 years ago. And he says the money came out of nowhere to buy all of this forest land. And he bought it right before, because this is the market crash. It was October 19th, 1997. The markets crashed. That's 97. Crashed 23%. No, it was 91. 23% in a day. I was working Wall Street. He bought the land right before there, and the market crashed, and everybody thought he made a super stupid deal. Well, right after that, after the market crash and everything, the U.S. government makes a preserving the forest and harvesting wood allocation tax breaks, and he makes a fortune, like triples his wealth overnight with one legislation. Are you kidding me? So there's multiple things here. There's gold. There's the Gold Nugget Museum. It's in a mineral deposit mine. It's on a beautiful bluff, but you can see when you get up there on this bluff, which is about 11 feet high, 1,100 feet high, overlooking the west, looking towards the Pacific Ocean and Bohemian Grove, that they're clear cutting these trees for their own views. They're making right next to them is a big Oroville Dam with houseboats with their water, and there's a train going right up here. Here's a first-person story that sent me this lady we're connecting with, talking about she's massaging CAL FIRE people, and they're saying things were blowing up. Look at that. The sign's fine and the house is gone. Are you kidding me? Tinfoil hat?
Well, that picture you just showed of the tree burned from the inside out. If they were prepping the ground, because you found that story where people were finding white powder all over the trees, leaves, and cars.
Right.
If they were prepping the ground and then hitting it with directed energy, that would make perfect sense. The ground would burn up into the inside of the tree.
And what I'm understanding is they did it also in January of 2018. They complained about white powder. And another thing that we get in the interview is there was another fire in 2017, not as severe, on Honey Run, which is right above Skyway, where they set up all the evacuation plans. So they got to know where all the routes were going in and out and had all the people there. But to a person, they said two things that are hugely significant, or three things. One thing is there's no wind before the event. PG&E said they did not shut off the power because the wind warnings were not there. CAL FIRE is saying the cause was hundreds of miles an hour winds, 327 miles an hour moving this fire. So the winds were huge, right? Baloney. That's not true. And they all said they got no warnings. Nexel, all these things you're signing up for early warning systems. This is the signatures they put on the side of trucks for dead bodies and stuff.
Same thing they used. Same thing they used in the houses in West Virginia. The exact same things. They were putting them all over the doors because when it rains out, it rains so hard and fast that you can't actually open your door and you die in your house. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the new normal, or the new abnormal.
That's the new normal. Yeah, they hit a place and then they wash everything away, just like we saw in Paradise, the fires. Just in Santa Rosa, we had the fires. Down in Santa Barbara, Goleta, they had the fires that washed the mudslides right after that. Here you can see the X. These are the notations that you see designating what they do, and the markings of how they mark the truck. So if the cars are still there, we can go see the dead bodies. But I think you've already seen the photographs, the first person accounting when they were there on their phones, of showing the skeleton in the car. And then here's the other thing, Richie, we really need to flesh out, and all you sleuths out there, really get that 60 minutes, 20-minute thing in. What they said in the interview with the people on the ground in the fires, there's the markings on the truck, is that there were cars we could save with people in them, and there were cars we could not save. And he didn't say with people in them, but that's the thing, there were people in them. They saved a few, but most of them were torched in their cars. They did not get anywhere. And so I asked this girl in the interview, because the tow truck driver told me that I interviewed, who's gone up there a lot. He says that everybody was in one-lane roads. The other lane was completely open. Everybody was like, they all pulled over, they stopped and waited, and they got torched in their cars, his words. I said, so why didn't they go out the other lane and start using it the wrong way and get out? He goes, I don't know. Unless they were told to stay there, they were going to be escorted out. And that's what this girl confirmed today, getting down the highway, Skyway, going east to west, down the hill towards Chico, that they were all in the right-hand lane, the two lanes, bumper to bumper. The cops were letting them through on one side, but here's two lanes on the other side. The fire started at 6:30. She's getting out of there at 9:30. She saw one fire truck. I said, did you see any fire trucks coming up the hill? She goes, no, I saw one fire truck the whole time I was trying to get out of there. Crazy.
This is totally crazy. Totally crazy, but it stands to reason because their signature is all over it. I have no doubt whatsoever at all that this wasn't.
How about Air Jordan Utility 33 shoes coming out? How about Air Jordan shoes, Utility 33? How about Lockheed with their website? Get on Lockheed's website, put in laser, folks, and here is a video of them torching a car from some hundreds of feet, miles up, with a laser beam through a car hood. And what do we see over and over? We see the engine blocks gone. They're showing you how they do it on Lockheed on their website.
And this is old technology, people. This is old, and this was done by an unmanned drone. So that should be highly disconcerting. Right.
And also DRI, we found, look at that. DRI, Desert Research Institute, is right there in Nevada City, and they're the ones that operate all the drones they don't use planes anymore. They use these drones for seeding the clouds for snow, for spraying, for setting fires. I've got a video in there, Desert Research Institute. I mean, it's all the technology. And when I worked in Wall Street, Moore's Law was technology doubles every year. Okay. And if they can get I was always amazed when they can get all my albums into a little iPod. I thought that was incredible. But now they can do so many things that the logarithm of computers, the D-waves, the computations they can do. It's beyond our pale to understand how advanced the equipment and the technology they have today. It really is.
And we try, and it makes us, and people ridicule us for it. And then a year later, it shows up in the newspaper. You know what I mean? They're on a specific trajectory here, so it's pretty easy to guess what they're going to be using the newest technology for.
Okay, common sense, people. There's a mailbox and there's a car that's torched. There's a mailbox of wood and a car that's torched. 3,000 degrees.
Look at the hood of the car. Look at the hood of the car with the enormous hole in it, just like we just saw a second ago. You know what I mean?
They're telling you what they're showing you what they're doing.
It's not too much of a jump. So it just amazes me. It was so hot that it turned this car into a liquid in the mailbox, and the wooden post is still sitting there, or this piece of wood at least.
All right, we got to remember that the hottest forest fire, they're still calling this a forest fire, although no trees burned, only houses and people.
Oh, you're just nitpicking.
I'm sorry, I'm being the voice for these people who are lost. I got to kind of keep it pretty serious here, because I got to keep it light because it gets too dark for me sometimes. But
no, dude, you don't have to explain that. That goes without saying. You can't completely submerge yourself in this, or you'll get lost. So keep it light when you can.
Thank you.
Seriously.
But, no, you have to. And this, I had a friend take his life over this stuff. He got too dark. I'm getting all these emails. I've been counseling and talking to people saying, I'm feeling so alone. I'm challenging my beliefs of everything I thought I've known. I mean, you're getting the carpet pulled out from on you. You might be going from ground level to the top of Everest with this stuff, but you can handle it. Take it slow. Know the stages of grief, the Kubler-Ross stages of grief. Richie and I both have to go through our dark times with this. We have to come back to find our strength. This is Jerry Brown, the governor of California, saying he came back on TV to restate and reterm it from the new normal to the new abnormal, with a big lug sitting behind him, a big special forces guy. And this is the governor, Jerry Brown, who stated that the next 10, 15 to 20 years will be the new abnormal, and the fires will be increasing in strength and in capacity. His words.
Which is just an incredibly bizarre thing to say. In a real world with real officials and real authorities, they'd say, we're going to do everything we can to stop this because we can, because this is a new thing. This is a new thing. And now they're telling us it's just going to continue. Sorry, don't know what to tell you. You should probably just move out and paint your front yard green.
Well, and let's say you or I were Jerry Brown and governor, and these people that think that they're your representatives, I want you to think again. And the reason that your Olympic brain has to vote or has to suggest that somebody you're never going to meet is going to be power is because you don't know where anything comes from. You don't know where your food comes from. You don't know what's in your water, where it comes from, and you certainly don't know where your energy comes from. So you have to subconsciously, survival, support these people that are just out to kill you, and they're doing it. But if I was governor, I would release all the National Guard, California, the military. I would go help these people. I would put them in the bases. I would give them food. I would set up distributions. I went to this 20, 30-acre FEMA camp, Operation Emergency Services in Chico, by the Chico Airport we talked about last time, and tried to give clothing. The guy didn't know where to give. He didn't know what to do. He had to go ask his supervisor. This is a massive FEMA operation, folks. Massive. And they don't know where to give donations. I mean, I'm sorry. I have no time for people that think politics or someone else is going to make it all better. I mean, this is the game. This is my new tagline. It's called Tag, You're It. And I want you to use it too, Richie. Let's start calling out our peeps. We got 200,000 people. We're putting ourselves out there. Your turn. We're showing you how we're doing it. Start a YouTube channel. I'll help you. Start a Facebook. Get on Twitter. Copy this. Put it out there. Share. And don't listen to the echo. Don't listen to what they have to say. Don't worry that they're not going to get it, because you're next. You're next. There's no one that's going to be safe.
If this was a real event, it would have been pasted all over PayPal, eBay, everywhere. Give to these people. And it was frighteningly quiet. That says a lot right there.
That's a big point. I mean, Red Cross we talked about, but also, do you remember, everybody, after Hurricane Harvey and Irma, you go to Safeway or you go to, would you donate $1 to the victims of Hurricane Harvey, Katrina? Remember all that? Yeah. Where is it now? Where are they now, folks?
All right, Jamie, it's getting late over here, but I wanted to get you on. You want to come back on tomorrow with an update? That's good with me.
Yeah, I'm going to have some very exciting people that are starting. I just want to end on this, Richie. And again, thank you for having me and sharing this with everybody.
Yeah, no
We're building
problem.
a tribe, folks. And what I encourage when I'm getting from people, I'm from Cincinnati, I'm from Texas, I want to meet up with people. Start your own meetups. Get on Facebook and say, Cincinnati Awakening Truthers Meetup. Text me or email me or Facebook me or message, whatever. Start asking for others, because everybody's waking up. Many are waking up, but they're staying silent with this stuff because they're all alone. They just need one person to reach out in your area. So put it out there, send it to me. I'll put it on my sites. You're having a meetup in Cincinnati or Texas, whatever, get your own numbers, help pump out the volume. But everyone in their tribe, look, touch, and feel. Because when this goes down this is the other big thing. Keep your freaking gas full. To a person, they said, I ran out of gas. I didn't have gas. Same thing happened in Santa Rosa. Have some food supply so you can hang out for a few days if you have to not go anywhere. Give yourself some options rather than being the herd mentality, sitting all in a row, waiting for the cop to push you through while they torch you with lasers in your car.
Well,
that's what just happened.
Since last time we spoke, this broke. What are your thoughts on this real quick while I got you? Department of Homeland Security, the Presidential National Council telling everybody prepare to be without power for 6 months. That's the newest meme that just popped up on the 10th.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's all about power, and I did a whole thing on the space-based power, which we can get into another time. But if you say the problem is that because on the ground we can't supply your electricity because of all the fires and the floods and everything, well, what if we just put it up in platforms like you just showed up above? I mean, we talked about last time when Elon Musk and these guys are launching over 9,000, if there were satellites, I call them platforms, up in the sky. It's total control from space. That's what the U.S. Air Force full spectrum dominance of space by 2025. 2025.
Yeah. It looks
so
like
they're saying, and then yeah, Elon Musk just announced that by 2020 he's going to be beaming all 5G down from internet platforms in the sky. They're telling you what they're going to do, and they're going to tell you that they're going to have to shut off your power for your own good. And so if you guys want to get in the generator business, I'm guaranteeing you there's doing well by doing good. You're going to be providing for people, and you'll be making some money, because everybody's going to go generator. Everybody's going to have their own power, and that's the exact thing they're saying in California. By 2022, all new homes must be self-sufficient energy-wise, and that's solar powers on the roofs that will be beamed down from the radio frequencies and the layers. They'll give you your power from the sky. It's ultimate control of humanity. Check and mate.
Well, on that happy note,
Jamie, but you're the change, folks. I guarantee you came here to fight this fight. I guarantee you. Richie, I honor you, my friend. I mean, we're Broheim, we're just doing the work we need to be doing, and we're being the act. And you Christians there that are listening to Richie and whatnot, and myself, I want you to focus on what Christ's last act was. He was an activist. He went and threw over the bankers' tables, and he knew he was going to get crucified for it, but he did it anyway, because he said, you can't ruin my soul and my spirit. Take my body. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm a warrior. You can do whatever you want to.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I came home and I'm like, I got to hit Jamie up, but first I have to do copyright school because I'm a 5-year-old. But we got to get this out. So,
all right, buddy. Thanks for all you're doing, Richie. I appreciate it.
Everybody in the chat, I appreciate your time, and thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for all the energy. Listen to what Jamie said. Find a way. Go to therealrichiefromboston.com. Go to the local contacts and find people that are around you. Do whatever you have to do. If you can't give, if you can't speak, share it. Do something. Tag. You're it. And I'm out.
Tag. You're